Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program, where today we are going to be beginning our first mega project. Now, we have two mega projects for this save, as I mentioned last time. Number one is going to be producing enough Dyson Sphere components and solar sails in a specific solar system or cluster of systems, as we found out, that will be able to supply any system throughout the entirety of the galaxy in order to produce Dyson spheres at a pretty decent rate of speed, and that is going to be utilized in order to support our actual main goal of the build of the save, which is 30 of every single science per second, culminating in 30 white science per second. So, to begin with that, we're going to be starting with the extra solar sails portion of things. We're going to be targeting 60 solar sails per second, which is 80 Mark III machines. I'm going to be making a couple of blueprints for this as well. We are also going to be using the graphene fire ice alternate recipe, as well as the, I forget what they're called, the photon combiner alternate recipe with the optical grading crystal, because I think for the Casimir crystals, I'm going to go for the base recipe of the titanium crystals, because we actually have a surprising amount of organic crystals in our cluster that we're going to be using. We are going to be using the star Saturn, and I actually really like that name. So I'm only going to ask in the comments, and I will also consult Girlfriend, for 5 planet names in order to have this going. Now, this outer planet, we're not really going to need a whole lot from. Like, there's some fire ice, but we don't really need the fire ice. I might go there and set up a fire ice miner just so that we're not purely relying on this ice giant. But this ice giant is going to be our main source of the fire ice for the graphene. We are using the fire ice alternate. This planet has our organic crystals and some spiniform crystals, as well as some crude oil, which I am going to be tapping for the main universe, main star system. Saturn is not going to be our main star system. Our main star system for this build is going to be Canis Majoris, because of the high quantity of crude oil, fire ice, organic crystal, and sulfuric ocean. So Saturn is going to be our specific solar system for the solar sails. We are going to be building the solar sails on Saturn 1 because of the fact that there is a high wind ratio, high solar energy, and more specifically 100% construction area. We're going to be getting our optical grading crystals from Saturn 2, as well as possibly some silica, although I don't think we need silica. We only need the optical grading crystals, the green chips, which I believe are called just circuit boards. Yep, circuit boards. So iron and copper, maybe set up some extra iron to import from some of these other planets, because there's not a ton of iron here. Then the photon combiners and the graphene. So I am going to go on ahead, grab everything that we need for this start of the mega project, including some warpers and some extra fuel on my person, as well as, actually, we should probably set up a hub. I was thinking about this last time, but it's going to be a real pain if we have to keep coming back to this solar system in order to grab materials, rather than just having the materials delivered directly to us. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to route a whole bunch of these things, like the inserter Mark IIIs. I think we're essentially done with the Mark IIs at this point. Same thing with the belt Mark IIs. We're just going to use belt Mark IIIs from here on out. We have the resources. There's no real reason for us not to. And then all 4 of our power systems, we won't need these. Probably some of the storages as well. All of our Dyson components that we have here. maybe the power exchangers, definitely the concrete. And then our logic-related things, our actual smelting and processing-related items, more than likely only the Mark II and Mark III, as well as the smelters, fractionators, and the... yeah, maybe not the matrix labs. I think we'll just leave the matrix labs. And then all of our oil and all of our advanced things. So that's going to be a little bit of spaghetti. I'm going to go on ahead and grab that, get it done and out of the way, and I will show you guys the progress on that here momentarily before moving and harvesting all of the things that we can on Saturn. So I will be back in a jiffy with that very, very long intro explanation. Alright, that took forever, and it's pretty spaghetti, but it works. So like there's one down here that does like all my power things, and there's another here that does like all my belt things, and then there's 4 just kind of scattered up here that do everything else essentially. And yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but they are all set up properly now, which is good, and it is all working. It's just a little bit of spaghetti. It doesn't look the greatest. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but at the end of the day, ouch, by the way, my power grid got severed. I was moving around a bunch of power poles and stuff, so I should have expected that to happen. Yeah, I definitely should have expected that happening. But now it's all set up, it's good to go. I'm just gonna need to make a little bit of a blueprint when I get to the planet. Where is? There. When I get to Saturn, in order to actually have all of my stuff coming to me, I'm gonna make an equatorial blueprint for that, not a polar blueprint for that, because I already have my polar rail launching blueprints and also my science blueprints, but the science blueprints don't really matter for this current project. And we're gonna go on ahead and move over there now that I have everything in my inventory that I need, and if I don't have it in my inventory and I need it, I'm gonna have these lovely interstellar logistics hubs in order to actually supply them to me. And I just realized one problem. So let me go on ahead and fix said one problem. The one problem is that this does not have warpers in it. And let me tell ya, it's got warpers now. Should at least. Yeah, there they go. There they go. Alright, good. I have some antimatter fuel on me. I'm gonna go on ahead over here to my fuel blueprint, way over here. I also made a blueprint for my proliferation because I was running out of proliferator juice faster than I could produce it. Although granted, I think that is the definition of. So we'll go on ahead and do local supply, remote supply. Warp is possible. It does have warps, and it is good to go. And these guys still don't have enough power, but the Dyson sphere is currently being built, which is very, very good to see. I'll go on ahead and go out and show you guys that, even though there are not any actual rockets currently being launched, because I'm running out of deuterium, and there's a lot of problems in that regard. You can see how the sails are being pulled in. That's what these blue ones are. So as the sail impacts, you'll see... did it just stop? I think it just... there it goes. So as they launch in and they hit here, you'll see some of them turn blue. And as they turn blue, they start to hover towards the little cell nodes here, and then they begin to fill up the Dyson sphere. So we have a slight bit of a shell beginning to form, as it is currently. And that will grow in the time that we are gone. Let me actually check the blueprints and see what is missing. Oh! The large platforms are missing. That's odd. Well, it was disconnected from the power grid for a while, actually, so I guess that makes sense. Well, alright. I think that is fine. We're gonna move over to Saturn, and then I will design that blueprint and let you guys take a look at that momentarily. Alright, so we are here, and I have a blueprint. It is done. I have something for all of my logistics and my harvesting equipment. I have one for all of my production equipment. I have one for all of my power equipment. I have one for all of my like drone logistics equipment. I have one for all of my Dyson sphere and advanced processing. And last but not least, I have one for storage and just some like miscellaneous things. Where's my... Oh, there's the oil extractor. Okay. And this one also has, obviously, the antimatter fuel, because we need antimatter fuel. So let's go on ahead and let's start remote demanding some of these things. Ah, well, I was back on the... Oh... I went back to Assad Australis so that I could bump down everything to 10%. And I think, did I? I don't actually know if I did. I don't think I did. I literally went all the way back to bump everything down to 10%. That way it wasn't trying to, like, have its own load. I think I did it for... No, I definitely didn't. What did I even do while I was back there, then? I don't even know what I did while I was back there. If I didn't actually set them all to 10%. I legit don't know what I did while I was back there then. Well, looks like I'm making a trip back home. Hey, we've already got some vessels coming in. Cool. Well, if we've already got... Oh, that's a lot of vessels coming in. It's not a huge deal for me to go the whole way back. I am just gonna wait a hot second, maybe? Yeah, all of these guys are good. All of these are good. I don't know why these are not good, so I'll have to go check them. None of these are good, and that's a problem. Oh well. For right now, we're just going to build the rest of the blueprint. That way these guys get a little bit more power to them. And then I'm going to make a pit stop back home for a hot second and see what the hell is going on with everything back home. But that's the blueprint. It is entirely cooperative with my planetary ring blueprint, so you can just go to a planet and just plop it down on top of one of your planetary ring areas, and you will be perfectly a-okay and good to go. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go on ahead and do what I keep saying I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna go do it. I'm also, by the way, gonna go on ahead and tap resources, so I'm gonna go to Saturn 2, get the optical grading crystals, maybe some iron, maybe some copper. I'm gonna go to Saturn 4 and get some of the oil, as well as some of the spiniform stalagmite and organic crystals, and just go on ahead and set those up for later extraction. And then I might also go to Saturn 5 for the iron and the copper, and then we will set up production here on Saturn 1 with all of the things that we need for our solar sails. So, back in a jiffy. I found my problem. I didn't set this to remote demand. Wait, no, it's not supposed to be remote demand. It's supposed to be remote supply. What's the issue then? All of these are remote supply 10%. Remote supply 10%. Remote supply 10%. You're not an interstellar. You're an interstellar. Remote supply, that's 100%. 10%. Remote supply, that's also 100%. 10%. What's the problem, then? Is the problem just that there's not enough? Is that the problem? What's 10% of a logic? 10%'s 100. There's enough. Oh. I didn't actually give it vessels. See, like this one. Oh. I'm sure you guys were yelling at me about that one. That's one that I deserve to get yelled at about, honestly. And then you. I'm gonna bonk you to 50% instead. Not all the way down to 10%, but 50%. 50% sounds accurate. Alright. Back to Saturn. I feel stupid now. So, I came home in the middle of working on that project because my interstellar logic hubs were not sending. And my interstellar logic hubs were not sending because there's a couple of problems back here at home. Number one, the inputs are being very... Let me clear that up, clutter. The inputs were being very slow because they were still Mark II inserters instead of Mark III inserters, so I fixed that using the upgrade brush, which is super duper handy. If you don't know, you do the upgrade and then area select, and then you can upgrade pretty much anything. And it's really fantastic, honestly, one of my favorite features in my personal opinion. But we are having an issue with the interstellar hubs, and we're also having an issue with a couple of different components, as you can see here. Iron is suffering, first of all. Steel seems to be fine. Titanium alloy is a problem. Blue motors are a problem. And these particle or plasma exciters are also a problem. So I'm just kind of gonna go around and like see what kind of things are having issues. Well, first of all, deuterium's not a problem, but it looks like one of the issues is stone. Like, this is demanding stone, but there just is no stone to pull from, and I think that's because of the fact that we're running out of stone. Running out of iron also seems to be a common theme, but primarily I want to see if there are stone veins that I missed. Here's a stone vein that I missed. Are there any other stone veins that I missed? Because I know for a fact that there were a few. And then what's the deal with iron? Is the deal with iron just a lack of ore? The deal with iron is, in fact, just a lack of ore. We kind of saw that coming, though, in all honesty, because of the fact of how little iron is left on planet. It looks like there's some stone there, and that's the only other stone vein. Trying to count the resources as we go. There should be one more. Ah, there it is. So, up by the deuterium, and also way over here by the titanium glass. And then blue motors, I'm not entirely sure what the issue, plasma broadbands, or particle broadbands, rather. Okay, that was bad placement. That's the thing with these, you gotta really micro them well. There. And then I'm gonna go on ahead and put both of these up to 300% as well. That way they're actually pulling properly. And then we will also go up here and find the other one right here. And we will just do the exact same thing. I wish I hadn't lagged right there. What other object is it colliding with? Is it colliding with that? Yes, it was. There we go. And I'll jack both of these guys up to 300 as well. The iron is an issue because we're not getting iron ore sent into here. We are out of iron ore on this planet, just about. Out of copper as well. What is any other issues? Well, solar sails seem to be a problem. I hit the wrong button. Why are solar sails a problem? Solar sails are a problem. That's a stone issue because, yeah, glass. So that's a stone issue. That's fine. That's probably an iron issue. Yeah, no magnets. No magnets would be an iron issue. So essentially, it's just an iron issue, and then let's check out the rest of these. That one seems fine. That one seems fine. We already checked out its problem. Blue motors. Don't know what the issue with the blue motor is. Processors and everything else seems a-okay to me. So let's head down here to this pole of the planet. Excuse me. My goodness. Having issues right there. So let's head down here all the way to the pole. And let's go like here. And go on ahead and put ourselves iron, copper, remote demand, local supply. And then we'll do that just like we always do. And then let's go on ahead and go around to all of these and jack them up to 300% speed. Coal is still fine for now, so we don't need to worry about coal. And I don't exactly want to already switch to... I'm talking really slow, I'm sorry. I don't want to switch from just harvesting this planet's resources to harvesting another planet's resources yet. I want to save on that for now. I do not want to have to go on ahead and already switch over when we could just increase our throughput by putting all of these possible up to 300% throughput. And that's going to help out by not giving us more iron in total or more copper in total, but it'll help the throughput by making it faster. That makes sense. And that should be everything. So we're going to leave it for now. We have this ready to go. And then we can go to Assad Australis 1. That's our blue motor production hub. Also, the Dyson sphere is coming along very nicely, as you can see. Very, very nicely. I think we actually caught Assad Australis 1 in the Dyson sphere, which I did not know was possible, that you could have a planet inside of a Dyson sphere. I was pretty sure that it would, you know, stop you from doing that. You can see that's one of our carrier rockets going right there. You can see its trajectory. It's going in to help build. And it was an optical illusion. We are not inside the Dyson shell. My bad. I thought we were. Also, yes, I did not switch this planet over to the other miners right now. Also, power issue. Is that the problem? Is the problem a power issue? Because this is our blue motor hub. Oh no. Oh no, it's not an iron issue or a copper issue. It's a coal issue. Oh. Oh, that's a problem. You see, that's a big issue. No energetic graphite means no blue motors. And no blue motors means no blue motors. And that's bad. That's really bad. That is really bad. Like, actually, though, that's really, really, really bad. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, how do I fix that? I guess I go to Assad Australis 2 and start sending coal over to here. Where do I have anything that can bring me coal? Where do I have... Where do I have? You? Can you? No, that's the one I already checked. You can bring me coal. Remote demand, local supply. Give it drones, because this was still back when I didn't have any drones to spare. Alright, I'm gonna get this problem fixed. I just wanted to show that there are problems. And inherently a lot of problems. Oh dear. There's problems, there's a lot of problems. I'm currently gonna fix the problems, and then I don't know if we'll have enough time. We will. We'll have enough time, because it won't take that long to do the solar sails. So, I'll be back here in just one moment. I solved just about every single issue. I did harvest coal from Assad Australis 2. And as soon as the autosave is over, you can see that number of coal on the right-hand side going down rapidly. I solved another issue on Assad Australis 1 that had to do with routing of resources, so that's fixed and done and dealt with. And then on our home planet, there's still the issue of lack of stone and lack of iron. Well, lack of iron, that used to be an iron patch. That was another one of our starter patches. This starter patch is down to 29,000, and we are down to 150,000 on the entirety of planet, which is a little rough to say the least. Pretty much all of our stone miners are down to just the advanced mining machines actually working. There are very, very few mining setups that exist on planet anymore that have more than just the mining machines. And our titanium alloy is still suffering in the sulfur department because of the fact that the sulfur is suffering from stone. But it's really not suffering from stone. The stone's fine. I guess it just was the buffer of the sulfuric acid. But if I remember correctly, this is, what, 9 machines on each side, and it's what, one every, oh no, it's 4 to 12, so one every 3 seconds, so this is 6 per second, and it needs double that amount of sulfuric acid, needs 12 per second, which we should be producing, because these make, what, each of these is 4 every 6, so 2 every 3. So this should be exactly enough sulfuric acid, and we're not using sulfuric acid for anything else. Like, this is 6, and this is 6. So this should be operating perfectly fine, and I mean, maybe it is. It looks like it might actually be, like, perfectly overlapping with the bots. It's just that we didn't actually, we relied on the buffer too much, essentially. But I have made a decision for time purposes. We're going to go back to, where is it? Saturn. We are going to go back to Saturn 1, and there's some coal here, as well as some coal here on Saturn 2, and we are actually going to set up a proliferation operation on those 2 planets. Just because of the fact that we ran into a couple of issues and ran into time problems. There's also this, which means that our Goldilocks system is slowly but surely running out of our optical grading crystals. We are at 330,000 left out of the, I believe it was close to 1 million that we had at the start, so we have just been hemorrhaging optical grading crystals, which makes sense. We're making a lot of blue chips, which is a lot of Casimir crystals, and yeah, we're just hemorrhaging it. So I'm going to go on ahead and harvest the coal on Saturn 2 and Saturn 1, and then I will go on ahead and be back as we set up the proliferation with the new blueprint that I will showcase. I'll be back in a sec. Coal on Saturn 1 and Saturn 2 are now both fully operational. So we can go into our blueprint library and look at our wonderful blueprints and find our proliferation Mark II blueprint. Now, we do have a ton of space. Like, look how much space there is between two hemispheres. There is so much space here, so much glorious, glorious, glorious construction space. No veins, no dips, no oceans, no valleys, nothing. It's perfect. So we're not touching it. We're gonna make our proliferation setups over here because there are really crappy nodes all over the place, and this blueprint is really, really teeny tiny. So we're just gonna put a whole bunch of them just kind of like right in this little crevice here. So we'll go on ahead and line this one up properly and place it there, and then line this one up and place it there, and then line this one up and place it there. And it's gonna yell at me because I don't have Mark II belts, but that's fine because I can just upgrade everything to Mark III belts and it will be happy once again. Which is exactly what we want. We want it to be happy. We like it when the game is happy. If the game is happy, then the game is kinder to us as a result. We want the game to be kind, do we not? Yes, we do want the game to be kind. And now it's simply the placing blueprint game, and these will not start until I supply them with the drones and also power, obviously. That one did not get its power pole placed, which is perfectly a-okay. There it goes. And that is a nice, crisp 18 proliferation Mark II modules run right after the other. And I'm gonna go on ahead, wrong set. I'm gonna go on ahead with the, not iron, because we're gonna be importing a lot of iron. With the copper, we're gonna go on ahead and do a remote demand, and that is gonna bring in the coal from Saturn 2, obviously. Those guys looked like they were warping. They were not warping, just very fast. That's good. I did not want them to be warping. And the beauty of this design is the fact that it is self-proliferating. So it will take the proliferation and primarily send it back out of the system because it acts primarily as a storage. If it's set to 100% instead of 1%, then it will act as a storage and it'll pull the materials out before it allows them to be available via drone, which is quite handy for setups like this so that we can have the proliferation go back in and proliferate itself to make it more potent, essentially, is how that works. And the only reason why we are not proliferating the inputs for anything is because it would be a real pain in my ass and a lot of extra space to proliferate the coal into the graphite, and then proliferate the graphite into the diamonds, and then proliferate the diamonds and the coal into the Mark I, and then proliferate the Mark I into the Mark II, and no, too much space, too much headache. This works perfectly and suffices our problem without a shadow of a doubt. And as you can see, the coal is starting to saturate itself, especially once we get a shipment of coal in with the copper. I think we already actually did, and that's what made it go on ahead and spike up like this. over time, that will fully saturate itself. If I need more coal, there's not a ton of coal in the system. Actually, yes, there is. 15 million. Dude, where's all the coal at? It's all on Saturn 4. Yeah, look at that. 14, almost 15 million coal. So if I need more coal, Saturn 4 is the place to go. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's the place to go. But that is going to be all for today, so thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. But without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves all a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag. There is a blueprint link in the description, and if you have any names that you would like for the Saturn solar system, you are, or, well, not the solar system, but for the Saturn planets, so it's not Saturn 1 through 5, please go on ahead and feel free to leave them in the comments. I would love to hear your advice for names, because I'm shit at naming things. But that is it. This video is in the bag, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, y'all.